Hello, everybody. This is Christina Fasonic broadcasting live from Wheeling, West Virginia. And tonight we have a West Virginian transplant type person reading for us tonight, and we're really, really excited. And Damian Dressick, I'm going to bring on my co-host, Damian. He will introduce you to her. Hi, Damian. How are you?
Good evening. I'm great, Christina. How are you this evening in Wheeling, West Virginia?
I am great because now the clouds there's a little bit of clouds out, so it's not 110 million degrees. So that's always good.
Yes, unless you're a blue star or something like that.
Right. Yes. How are you?
I am great. I'm having a lovely day here in Prospect, Pennsylvania, and I am really excited about tonight's reader.
Me too.
Yeah, it's funny. I was talking to Gita Kalhari at the Kenyon Review, and she was recommending some folks that she thought would be pretty cool to have on, and she mentioned Neema's name, and I said, do you know what? I am one step ahead of you because I just talked to her 2 days ago, so that was pretty neat. So this evening, are we ready for introductions?
We are ready.
Okay. This evening, we have Neema Avashia. She was born and raised in southern West Virginia, the daughter of Indian immigrant parents who moved to Appalachia in the early 1970s so her father could work in the chemical industry. Now, she has lived and worked in Boston for the last 17 years as a civics teacher in a public middle school, but she has not forgotten her love for DiCarlo's Pizza of Wheeling. So I've never been on a broadcast with two people who are big fans of DiCarlo's Pizza in Wheeling. Her writing has appeared in wonderful places, The Bitter Southerner, Catapult, and the Kenyon Review Online, which I really like those Catapult and the Kenyon piece. Those are just relatively new pieces. I was blown away. So I was really happy that she was available to come and read on the WCONA Live series.
Yes, me too. So let's bring her on. Hello.
Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for having me.
So I'm always absolutely thrilled to have another West Virginian on the show. And that's really special for me. And the fact that you, one, have been to Wheeling, and two, have delighted in our pizza treat, I am just thrilled. So we can't wait for you to read tonight.
Awesome. Well, no pizza in this essay, but some basketball. So hopefully that'll hit another note.
Yes, yes. All right. Are we ready to step aside and allow her to read, Damian?
I'm more than ready. I'm excited about this piece. I've heard the title, so I'm pretty
awesome. Okay, we'll be back in a few minutes.
All right. Hi, everyone. The essay I'm going to read tonight is called Be Like Wilt, and it was published in the Bitter Southerner in November. I stand on the foul line at the Cross Lanes Methodist Church gym. I am 9, the only girl playing on an all-boys basketball team. The only brown kid on a team of white boys. My puny arms, thick glasses, and long oiled braids setting me even further apart from their wiry, muscular bodies and cropped blonde haircuts. Why has Carl Bradford chosen me for his team? I wonder about this. His sons are 2 of the quickest, highest scoring players in our local league. In 1988, in Cross Lanes, West Virginia, there is no designated league for girls. And when I try out one Saturday in October, there are only 2 other girls in the gym with close to 80 boys. Tryouts in this pre-AAU, pre-hyper-competitive era involve dribbling up and down the court, shooting 2 layups, and a couple of foul shots. Every kid is guaranteed a space on a team. The question is simply which coach will choose to take them on. Each girl is selected for a different team. Some teams have no girls. Mr. Bradford doesn't have to pick me, but he does anyway. In doing so, he also takes on the responsibility of chauffeuring me to and from practices and games. Basketball is not a sport my immigrant parents understand, and the parental time commitment it requires is not something their lives leave space for. By opting to play, I take a step further away from my nuclear family and closer to my West Virginia community. Still, my Indian genetics make me short, weak, and terribly uncoordinated. When I shoot the ball overhand, it falls short of the basket by several feet. When I play defense, my teammates say I look like a praying mantis, my hands weaving in front of me instead of out to the sides. I love the game, but I am about as far from a natural talent as my parents' hometown in India is from this gym. One evening, Mr. Bradford proposes that I shoot the ball a different way. Not overhand, as I've been trying to, but underhand. Granny style, my teammates disparagingly call it. Some of the greatest basketball players of all time shot underhand, Neema, Mr. Bradford says. Wilt Chamberlain shot underhand. His blue eyes, magnified by round, wire-rimmed glasses, probe mine. In my adult life, I have listened to entire podcasts about the accuracy of the granny-style shot, about how Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points in the one game where he shot free throws underhand, and Rick Barry's career free throw percentage was a chart-topping 89.3 because he opted to do the same. But at age 9, this feels like yet another way in which I'm being set apart from my peers. Raised by fathers who were players of the game, taught to play at driveway hoops as soon as they could walk, they can shoot overhand. I cannot. How do you assimilate into the dominant culture when your own culture is so invisible to the majority? My small group of Indian peers and I answer this question in different ways. The only Indian boy at my elementary school, who all of the white kids either think is my brother or insist I should date, speaks with an exaggerated twang, drinks heavily through high school, and loudly votes Republican later on. Some of the Indian kids who live in the city of Charleston emulate their wealthy white classmates, picking up tennis or golf as entry points into American culture. As for me, I choose basketball. I play the sport constantly, watch it obsessively on the TV in our basement, rock my turquoise and purple Charlotte Hornets jacket daily, and not simply because I love the game. I do, but basketball is more than just a sport to me. It's my way into a world where I otherwise don't seem to belong. I blush hard at the suggestion to shoot underhand, dribble a basketball against the white linoleum flooring of the gym, and stare at the black curve of the key instead of making eye contact with Mr. Bradford. I know he's right, but I'm not sure I can find the courage to shoot granny style in a game where all of my teammates and classmates from school will be watching. Much later in his career, Chamberlain explained why he only shot underhand for one season and reverted to the less accurate overhand free throw afterward. I felt silly, like a sissy, shooting underhanded, he said. I know I was wrong. I know some of the best foul shooters in history shot that way. I just couldn't do it. Even though I haven't heard this explanation in 1988, I struggle with the same sentiment. Eventually, however, my desire to make a basket overwhelms my fear of judgment. Game day comes, the point guard gets the ball into my hands, and I position the ball between my legs before hurling it upwards. Swish. It isn't a buzzer beater. It's not the game-winning shot. It's just 2 points scored midway through the third quarter in a regular season game. But the entire gym erupts in cheers, the crowd chanting my name. Someone even calls my mom from the payphone in the corner. I grow so dizzy with this temporary but overwhelming sense of belonging that I fail to register the final score. After the game, Mr. Bradford gives me his slow, sweet smile. See, Neema, it doesn't matter how you shoot the ball. It just matters that the ball goes in. Mr. Bradford drafts me for his team each of the next 3 years. At the end of my last season, he persuades all of the coaches to jointly award me the league's Heart and Hustle trophy, given not to the most talented player, but to the most dedicated team member. It remains, to this day, the award I cherish most. When I age out of his league, he recruits me as an assistant for his younger son's team. His red Jeep Cherokee is a fixture outside of our house for at least 3 days a week as he continues to drive me to and from practices. Each evening, we drive over Goff Mountain after practice. The headlights of the Jeep cast the only light on the dark and winding road that takes us past a pungent chemical landfill and through a dense stand of trees. Close your eyes now, he commands as we approach the summit of the mountain. In the back seat, the boys and I giggle and grin, close our eyes, take a deep breath. Mr. Bradford hits the gas and we soar over the first hill, our stomachs dropping roller coaster style. The Jeep bounces hard onto the concrete, then take flights again as we hit the second decline. For this brief moment, we are Bo, Luke, and Daisy in the General Lee. Our screams of delight replace the sounds of Dixie in this reimagined Dukes of Hazzard, and I am wildly, freely American in a way I can never recapture outside of Mr. Bradford's presence. Thank you.
Oh my God, I love that. That was so amazing. I had just read an article about Wilt Chamberlain talking about why he stopped doing the granny shot. And it was shocking to me because here's this guy, he's Wilt freaking Chamberlain, and he didn't want to feel like a sissy. He didn't want to feel, you know, less than because of how he threw the, I mean, it's just the power that gender and this whole concept has over people is amazing. Plus, I was thinking about my dad used to do that over the bumps in the West Virginia roads, and it would make you sick, but it was like the best thing in the world anyway. And I tried to do that with my son. He got so mad he threw a shoe at me. So, Damien, I'm sure you'll have something more educated to say than that.
Well, first, you know, I absolutely adored that essay. That was out. I'm so happy that you were able to come on. I want to teach this essay in the fall. It's like the first one that's just jumped out at me that we've had somebody come on. I'm like, this is exactly like I want my students to read this. Just it's so exactly right in so many ways. The dimensionality of it, the insight, the description. It's just like it's like a little tuning fork how to write a personal essay. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Thanks for having me. I wouldn't be the person who I am today without Carl Bradford. So any chance I get to say his name, I want to make sure I say it.
Well, that was absolutely fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much.
That was great. Thank you. Do you have anything new coming out? I know you just had some recent publications. I was going to ask.
I do. I have an essay that is coming out at Cosmonauts Avenue. It's coming out in a couple weeks. Yeah.
Super cool.
Awesome. Excellent. You have a number of different comments here. I don't know if you know Sheila. Do you?
I do. These are all West Virginia people. That's
what I thought. That's what I thought.
Yep.
Wonderful. Well, thank you again for being on this show. We really appreciate your time and sharing your talent with us and our audience.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. So, Damien, do you remember who is next?
I do. It is Amy Jo Burns.
That is correct. So she will be on Thursday night, and I know we're all looking forward to that too. So until next time, we'll see everybody later. Thank you again.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Take care.